Hey everybody, Grimble here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reacting to Vinland Saga Episode 8. So last episode was a really good one. We finally got to see what Thorfinn, or at least the new Thorfinn, is capable of and what he's growing up to be, which is apparently a really good warrior in his own right. We finally get this time skip that I've sort of been predicting for a while. He is now much older and is now voiced by an acquaintance of mine, Alex Lee. As I have mentioned in previous videos, Alex is somebody that I have worked with in the past. He was one of the lead voice actors on an animated series my company, Little Grim Entertainment, is working on called Lost Kings. So it's really cool to hear him sort of take off as a voice actor. He's not only Thorfinn in this series, but he's also playing Jinwoo in the dub version of Solo Leveling as well. So I'm really excited to hear him in all these different anime that I'm watching and see that he's really made a name for himself and is doing really well. But anyways, back to the story itself. It was really interesting seeing what Thorfinn has sort of developed into. He's this dual-wielding little mini assassin kid, and he seems to do any of these little errands that Askeladd wants done that maybe he doesn't want to risk one of his own men doing. He seems to not really value or care for Thorfinn's life so much at this point, because he's willing to send him as an envoy that he says could possibly get killed by the people he send him to. And so clearly it's kind of a toxic relationship, which was to be expected. He knows Thorfinn's there to kill him in the first place, so I guess I wouldn't be too anxious to do him any favors either if I knew that this kid was looking to kill me. Either way, Askeladd and his men made their way over to France, and they came across these two warring parties and decided to aid one of them, who happened to be this odd-looking man that I call the Frog Titan, who was trying to brute force his way into this stronghold simply by just throwing guys at it and saying, eventually it'll go down, right? That's strategy. Needless to say, our little Viking group stepped in, helped out, and in the end got Frog Titan his victory, but not without leaving with all the treasures and valuables that was inside that town. Now before the battle did start, Askeladd made one promise to Thorfinn and said, if you bring the head of a general, you will have proven yourself to me, and I'll give you the duel that you have been asking for. And boy, did Thorfinn deliver. He jumped right up there in the middle of this battle, scaled a wall with his two little daggers, and started slicing through the men on the wall until he got to the general and beheaded him. So that's kind of where we were left off. Thorfinn delivered the head to Askeladd, who was like, sure, I'll give you the duel, but we got to get out of here right now, as crossbows and things were firing at them. So they are out on the sea, last we saw, heading towards who knows where. But it will be interesting to see what happens next, and if Askeladd will deliver on the promise he made. So with that being said, let's dive right into it with Vinland Saga Episode 8. If you guys are interested in signing up to my Patreon, you'll be able to take advantage of ad-free content, 3 to 4 weeks early access to all reactions, which for the middle tier and above can include the full-length watch-along reactions. Those that subscribe to the highest tier will also be supporting my game and animation studio, Little Grim Entertainment. You'll have access to a sneak peek look at all of our upcoming games and animated shows. I don't know why that freaked me out so much.
Hey, incoming warships.
Uh-oh.
We have to alert Gorm.
Not so fast. Look closely. That's Askeladd's ship.
How they know him?
Back to the village at last.
Who would have guessed? Survived another year at sea.
And you'll live to fight another day, Bjorn.
We went pretty far afield this time.
I suspect old Uncle Gorm's still as stingy as ever.
Uncle Gorm. Just wait until he reaches land.
Enjoy your winter to the fullest. That's an order.
$10-12 AD, I think. Said.
What a haul Askeladd's brought.
Heard some of his crew died this year.
Seriously? Do you think they'll be recruiting new men to replace them?
Wow.
My heart racing.
Oh.
Huh? Hey, boy! Apologize!
You don't mess with that look.
What the hell is wrong with that kid?
Are you ready? Here goes. Oh, Askeladd! Welcome home!
Oh, come on.
It's great to be back, ladies.
I
The one on the left.
We have more pressing concerns than women. Your crew's daily ration of food costs 1 1/4 silver coins per man.
What, you're counting coins again?
Penny pincher.
Dining on pork every day starts to add up.
There.
No need to worry. This year's take was good. Give my men plenty of food, and keep the booze flowing. We'll pay your price.
That's precisely what I was hoping to hear. First round's on me. We have good wine, don't we? Bring it forth. Well then, Ordeland, what are you doing? Hurry up and bring the wine.
It's a little daydreamy.
Damned fool, she's such a pain in the ass.
Ow. Is it harsh?
That slave girl of yours, she has a strange name.
She's a slave.
Ordeland, huh?
She comes from a lord's bloodline, but her family lost in battle and fell into ruin.
Oh, man.
She's beautiful and she was expensive, but she's such a slow worker.
That slave girl being useless isn't her fault. It's yours for not using her the right way.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
With the right approach, you can convince anyone to do whatever you want.
Oh, man. Just confirms he's just using them.
Go get him, kid! Now show him what you've got!
Make it good!
Should be more interesting than last time.
Time to begin. In Odin the Allfather's name, the duel between Thorfinn and Askeladd can now commence.
Are you serious? That boy's a part of Askeladd's group? I guess the odds of being allowed to join his crew are better than I thought.
Just wait.
Well, you can't say the boy isn't persistent, at least.
Let's see what he's made of now.
You know, you've grown taller. It's been a few years, huh? You were still a little guy the last time.
Keep on your foot.
Fast! He closed the gap!
Listen to your damn elders!
Still strong.
Thorfinn leapt away. He knows that the dagger has an advantage up close. He's stronger now.
Have they not been watching him? Have they not actually seen him fight? Maybe they just like send him off and don't see what happens.
Clever.
Wow.
You nearly had him, kid!
Hey, Thorfinn, your father. What was his name again?
Oh, pushing buttons. Pushing buttons.
It's Thor's!
Of course, Thor's. That was his name. It all starts to blend together. I don't even remember your father. Are you sure that I'm the one who killed him?
You bastard. If you'd fought him fair and with dignity, my father never would have lost to a man like you.
Ah, now I remember him. He was the fool who threw down his sword in exchange for some brat's life.
Goading him.
You made the mistake of losing your cool. You still have a whole lot to learn, boy.
I was right. He's gonna make him another promise. You'd break his arm? Ow! Oh shit.
Bjorn, pop Thorfinn's shoulder back in.
Got it.
Oh.
I am hungry.
This music. Oh man.
Ooh, it's cold.
Hey, you're on duty.
I got lucky, though. Thorfinn told me he didn't want to switch.
So he's pouting again after losing.
Guess that's one way he hasn't changed at all.
It's where he feels most comfortable. That is his old man's ship, after all.
Hey, Askeladd! I watched your duel earlier. You were pretty impressive. That last move? It was a toss, right? You made it look so easy! It was really something!
Flattery.
Don't you think it's risky to keep that kid on your ship? What if he attacked you while you were sleeping?
That's the last thing he'd ever try.
He wants to win back his honor.
He may be young, but he's a true warrior. Thorfinn wouldn't accept anything less than a fair and square bout.
Uh-oh.
How can you be so clumsy, Horda? You're always in the way. Now hurry and clean that up.
Pretty terrible, isn't it?
It's time that you accept that you're a damn
A
slave.
slave to money holds a whip, just so he can act like he owns a slave bought by money.
How dare you?
Poor girl.
He's not aware of one thing. The truth is, all of us are slaves to something.
Thorfinn, slave to his rage and his desire for vengeance.
Still moping?
Oh.
Father!
Are you upset, little one? Want to pay them back? Remember, you don't have a single enemy. No one does. I promise you, son.
Gotta remember those lessons he taught you.
A true warrior doesn't need a sword.
I was just... Master Gorm commanded me to bring you your meal.
Oh.
Hey, are you a slave too?
I'm a warrior, which means unlike you, I have a choice in deciding where I eat.
But still it seems like you and I are actually quite similar.
Why would I know how a slave feels? If I were you, I'd kill that man Gorm and run.
If I ran as far as I could, I wonder what would be on the other side.
You know, they haven't brought up Vinland much. Not since the first episode.
Far to the west.
Maybe that's what they're about to do.
Across the sea. There's a place called Vinland. A new land. A place where it's warm and fertile. Untouched by others. No slave merchants or flames of war.
Does such a place really exist?
This is his sister, right? That's my guess. I saw her in the opening. I was wondering who she was. And that's my guess, at least.
Everything is proceeding just as planned for the upcoming campaign, sire.
The time has come. We must show those insolent English scoundrels the power of a true king. And where is Canute? He has arrived, hasn't he?
Indeed. His Highness the Prince awaits in Yelling.
Oh. Was that a guy?
There's simply no need for Prince Canute to come along, sire.
He's a candidate for succession. I shall give him the chance to display valor on the battlefield, just like his brother Harold.
But, Your Majesty...
Enough, Ragnar.
Ragnar?
I'm mindful of my son's safety as well. We set sail in the morning.
Clearly not Ragnar Lothbrok.
In August of the year 1013, the main forces of the Vikings from Denmark, led by King Sweyn, invaded northern England starting from the Humber River, establishing dominance over each region as they continued their march. And yet, the steady and victorious advance of the Danish forces came to a sudden, albeit temporary halt, here in the commercial city of London.
Oh, wow! Damn. Who's this guy? Did we see him before? Maybe in the first episode?
What's wrong? You should have brought more! Where's the fun if the battle ends too quickly?
Okay, so we just saw Vinland Saga episode 8. It was a fun episode. It was really interesting to see Askeladd coming to what seems like his home base, I guess. Because so far we've seen Askeladd just out as this mercenary for hire, traveling the world. Doesn't really seem to have any sense of home or family until now. So I guess we got to see he called him uncle. I'm not sure if that's actually his uncle or is it just something he calls him, but it seems like it is family. Seems like he knows him pretty well. And much like Askeladd, he's very much into money and seems to be somebody that supports Askeladd and his crew and keeps them fed. And it does also seem like this is just their home base that they always return to and enjoy the spoils and maybe stay through the winter until it's time to go out and raid and pillage and collect money all over again. And much like they set up in the last episode, as soon as they reached land, it was finally time for him and Thorfinn to have their duel. And this time, Thorfinn put up much more of a fight, had a few moves that really seemed to surprise Askeladd, but of course, also as I thought and predicted in the last episode, still wasn't enough. Thorfinn's still not strong enough to take Askeladd on in a duel one-on-one, although he's made significant improvement. And it didn't go unnoticed. People of the town noticed, and then of course Bjorn noticed as well that Thorfinn has increased his skills tremendously since the last time they had their duel. I kind of got the sense that they didn't know how good of a fighter Thorfinn had become. And it makes me wonder, have they not seen him fight at all? Does he just constantly send him out on these reconnaissance missions where they don't see him for a long time and then he's just there? I don't know. I just kind of got that feeling like they were shocked by how much he's improved. And if they had seen how well he fights in battle, they shouldn't have been as shocked as they were. So I found that really interesting. And maybe I am looking into something or overthinking it. I don't know. But that's the sense that I got. But either way, also as I predicted in the last episode, wasn't good enough. And Askeladd told him, look, kid, you still got a long way to go. And my assumption is he'll give him another duel once he feels he's ready and has earned it yet again. And we kind of also saw that Askeladd thinks of him almost as a slave. That's kind of what we were getting through this episode was Thorfinn's relationship to some of the slaves that exist in this world. Case in point being this girl that came up to him and basically said that. Like, we seem very similar, you and I. You seem to be out here eating alone, and you don't seem to be treated well by the others. And Thorfinn, of course, right away is like, no, we're not the same. We can't be. But maybe, he started to realize her point and see what she was saying towards the end. Because that is the way Askeladd seems to think about him. He seems to think that Thorfinn is under his control, and he's using the fact that Thorfinn wants revenge on him to get Thorfinn to do his bidding, more or less. He's found a way to push Thorfinn's buttons, to manipulate him into doing what Askeladd wants him to do, just so he can get these duels. And it also goes back to previous reactions where I asked the question, what is he willing to do to continue to get these duels with Askeladd? Who is he willing to hurt? He's going on these raids with him. He's devastating these towns and these people, and he's more or less going to become no better than Askeladd himself if he continues down this path. So it makes me wonder, at one point will he realize that? And I think that's what the vision of his father was kind of trying to get across. It's like, look, you have no enemies. This isn't the way. And his father knew that going down this path would only end up turning you into a person that you don't want to be. Because his father did that. His father went down that path. And in the end, he had that same realization that this isn't the person I want to be. I just want to live my life out with my family in peace. That's what he wanted in the end. That's what he valued most. And he gave up that life of fighting and violence, despite the fact that he was one of the strongest warriors to ever live. We also got another mention of Vinland, which I don't think we've heard of since the first episode, really, when that story was being told by Liars? I can't remember his name exactly. But the story that was told by the old man at the beginning of Vinland being this place, this mythical place out in the far, far west, which could be Americas, I'm not sure. Maybe one of the Vikings found the Americas and that's what they're talking about. But either way, Thorfinn was telling the story to this girl who was a slave. And, you know, she had these dreams of escaping to a faraway place where she could get away from slavers and war and all this violence. Of course, I'm sure at this time, little did they know, there's always violence, there's always war. There would obviously be the Native American tribes that lived in the Americas that were probably having their own wars and battles at the time too. So it really wouldn't have mattered. You know, the world is the world and people are people. But it is nice to have that sort of dream. Yeah, that's all I got for this one, guys. Continue on the conversation in the comments section below. Tell me what you guys think about Thorfinn and his journey so far. Do you think at this point he realizes the path that he's on and is choosing this path, or is he completely oblivious to the manipulation that Askeladd has over him? I think it is the latter. I don't think he's aware of what Askeladd's doing to him at this point. He's still a young kid and a little bit ignorant to the world, and is also letting this rage and drive of revenge blind what would be his more rational thinking. So yeah, just curious to hear what you guys think about it. And as always, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the content today, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and please check out my Patreon page. A lot of great perks there, stuff like ad-free content and full watch-along reactions. I'm also about 3 to 4 weeks ahead on all the series that I'm watching, including Vinland Saga. So if you would like to catch up and see where I'm at now, you can do that on Patreon. With all that said and done, guys, it's been a great episode. I look forward to the next one. I'll see you all on the next reaction.